Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Ok, là c'est vraiment tendre. Ok, là c'est vraiment tendre. Mais Léa n'est même pas sur le sien. Elle chante une. Yippee! Mais là j'ai plus de jump. Pas juste. I want more jumps.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I want to leave. I don't want to be here no more. Let me out. Okay. No. De, combien de temps pris quoi?
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Ok. J'étais comme, est-ce qu'ils vont me faire fermer le jeu maintenant?
Voilà, il y a une update par contre.
Puis, ben, what the hell? Mais c'est quoi que t'avais vu dans les autres endings que j'ai pas vu que vous avez fait?
Là, ça réussit à briser le jeu. Le genre de.
C'est quoi, Dip?
C'est-à-dire, je regarde une forme bleu-rouge. Il disait, genre, je prends dans la porte de ce comme dans la salle de bleu, il a fait 3 fois. Puis, un mal, l'utilise cette année, puis de, genre, lever ton jeu, genre, sur 5. Puis, dans la, puis là, moi, je jouais à Rocket League, moi, je jouais à, genre, Fire Tower.
Ça a l'air drôle.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something! Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork. Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
What the fuck is that?
Ok, mais so, vous avez... Est-ce que toi t'as joué ou juste Félix?
Non, juste.
T'as fait quoi?
Moi, j'avais fait de vrais idées, puis
C'est quoi le branding?
c'était des. Non.
Ok.
Donc, fois, c'était.
Mais moi, j'ai suivi ce qu'il disait, j'ai juste repris l'ascenseur quelques fois.
Il fait l'IST, là, il disait. Genre, je sais que c'est les chinois, tu vas voir, puis il fait ça. Ah, je te donne ta console, puis il rallume là. Ou genre, qu'est-ce que t'as acquis? Et un autre, c'était genre. Une descente en bas d'escalier, de monter au boss. Je marchais en fond pendant genre 20 minutes. Ouais, tu parles.
20 minutes?
Ouais, c'était
Genre plus long que l'ascenseur?
Ouais. C'était. Qui a fait la même chose, c'était long.
I call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Ça venait un peu partout, c'était un peu loin, puis là, il y a plus de minutes, tout ça.
C'est ça ici, je peux pas.
Ouais.
C'est bien cute.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Il y avait un premier jeu, c'est ça?
Ouais, c'est ça. Ça, c'est un des années.
Good time. Ouais, je peux pas en relate parce que je connais pas le premier jeu. Je peux pas être comme, ah oui.
C'est ça, je peux faire le premier jeu.
Ah oui,
Ouais.
je me rappelle comment était le premier jeu. Non, no clue. C'est quoi? Ça doit être des références, mais genre.
Non, mais c'est. Ouais. C'est le même jeu, c'est juste lui, il y a une update. C'est comme un DLC.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Okay, is that it? Oh, open the door. Open the door.
Plus tu parles, Francis.
Non, c'est dit, on te parle. Allô, ça va, Liam? J'ai oublié de licher ma main, genre.
Maintenant,
Yo, je voulais pouvoir retourner là. Genre, arrête de fermer les portes. Mais pas bien.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers
Yeah,
some of the most
I want to get out
enjoyable,
of here.
surprising and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it,
Léon,
Stanley?
ce jeu,
The
c'est le
game
meilleur
was
jeu que j'ai vu de ma vie.
perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation, boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Let me out, please. What is this? Ah, il m'a rouvert cette porte.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all
J'ai
over
juste dit qu'il
again.
faut que tu joues, Léon.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, God no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny.
Oh.
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
C'est quand tu joues, Francis?
Bonne question. Tu penses que je comprends what the hell's going on?
Non.
Oh,
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
oh
Perhaps
God.
the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
I guess.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing
So.
anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't
Yo,
hurt.
ain't no way.
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
That. I want to skip it.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years. Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal...
Ouais, je pense qu'elle entend le style narrateur fuck en train de parler. Attends, mais il y avait un bout de... Non, attends.
Non. Ah,
Ben, yo, Max.
ouais. Va bien.
flourishes.
Merci. Je la ressemble.
Comment je vois ça?
Oui. La ressemble, tu peux acheter.
Hein? Ça?
Ouais.
J'enlève du son?
Ah, c'était pas ça. Non. Je sais pas si tu peux descendre.
Mais sinon, mais c'est sûr que c'est ça, mais il est déjà au Max.
Ouais.
Ah là... Ouais, ben, yo, Max.
And lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my...
Il va juste finir
Well,
par
there,
mourir.
sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was,
Il va doubler
well,
à chaque fois.
I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble
Yeah,
on
my
to
knees feel
myself
just
about. I
below.
know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest
Yeah,
that we
this is
not
not
press
true,
the
so
button again.
c'est un outil
I
game,
think the
je
skip
pense.
button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window
J'ai pas
anywhere?
le choix, monsieur
A
le narrateur,
porthole?
désolé.
A sufficient... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have...
Il est pas mort encore. Ah, ouais, je suis mort. Il est pas mort, maman, il fait juste genre, ah, faut des shit. Allô? Allô? Ok. Pourquoi? Oh, il y a quelque chose à faire. Ouais, annoying sound.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
Back.
But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little...
The fuck is going on?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
What the fuck is this? Ah, ça commence. Ok, rien de pas pour l'instant. Pire, je vais du sable. Ah, la lumière. Get me out of here. Oh. Get me out of here, please. Non, soleil. Le soleil est mort. Ok, rien de spécial. Ah, le sable. Cette salle était construite en quoi, wesh?
Pourquoi tout le monde t'a été par là?
Ah. Pourquoi il marche encore? Does not. What?
Yeah, he was never the
Wesh. That's it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
For the new content? New content.
Oh, good.
Let's
you
go.
noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
No. I got new content.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Yay!
Oh, it's quel new content?
Mais c'est Stanley Parable
Yes,
2.
you see? Isn't this
Yes.
far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Je sais pas.
Deluxe? What does it even
Yeah,
mean?
c'est-
But
mais
the
on
Stanley
sent que ça
Parable
fait
2, now that's
Non,
an
non, je sais pas
artistic
dormir à
statement
ouvrir,
right
putain.
there.
Je sais
It's
pas.
future-oriented.
ici,
It
je sais
screams
pas.
progress
Ah,
and
Oui,
innovation and long-term franchising
C'est
potential.
comme what the hell?
Au pire, on mettait Félix, mais je dis,
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been
Toujours pas
developing
de
for
déjeuner au
it.
dîner. Je sais pas
I
bien
figure
attendez.
that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting
Ouais, là,
concepts,
c'est-
that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around
Regarde
them.
le
It'll
joueur.
all work itself out. Game development
Sur
is much
l'esprit,
more of a fuzzy magic than anything
Tu veux l'entendre
scientific or logical, really.
du gameplay,
Mais, et l'esprit de encore Louis?
oui. Je vais pas parler.
Mais, ok.
Je m'en fous.
Mais c'est pas Léane avec Petit. Ça m'étonne qu'elle aurait dit.
Ok, moi je t'écoute, t'es mieux de parler.
Ouais, mais ça m'étonne qu'elle aurait dit sur ce que toi t'as dit.
Ah, je m'en écoute pas.
Hein? Et toi, what?
Here we
En
are.
tout
Go on, try out some of the new features.
Features. A button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Name. Ah, je veux ça, moi. Hear your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this
I'm
feature.
not Jim.
Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
No. You need the Jim button. Bruh, what is this? Play a fucking glitch through the fucking floor. C'est valid, Jim.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Plus new easy trophy. Infinity on. Very. Okay, mais moi je veux free trophy. You're giving me free trophy? Yippee.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
What the fuck is this? I wanted the free trophy.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Infinity Hall. Please, no screenshots. What's here?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Huh?
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Fuck you.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You
I
may
want the
even
bucket.
come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I got a bucket now.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Hát, Infinity Hole. Of course.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show... Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
T'aimes le trou,
Is
Francis?
the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Tried, still nothing. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Non, c'est son fou.
Non, mais je suis pogné ici.
Ah, tu peux plus sortir.
Non, puis le narrateur est parti. Fuck do I do? Qu'est-ce que c'est que
C'est une chose.
descend?
Ah.
Yeah! Le trou! Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Non, je vais chanter! J'ai le pocket!
C'est comment cinématographique.
Tu vas être
Ouais.
J'ai pas le goût de changer, de ça va être moins épique.
Tu veux changer du sapin, c'est ça?
What the hell?
Change your reality. Je sais pas si tu fais carré, Francis.
Attends, mais j'ai la meilleure musique.
J'ai vu apparaître la PCP.
What is this? La première, elle était de loin meilleure. Oh. Ah, ça va être ça.
J'ai croyé.
Dinner mode.
Yeah.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop
Crazy
in
hole.
from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking
Essa
forward to all
descend.
of them.
Nossa, descend.
Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Ah. My bucket! Ah, I still have my bucket. Ah, ça m'a
Here we
reset.
are. Go on. Try out some of the new
Ça m'a reset
features.
au début du deuxième jeu, pas du premier jeu. Yeah, Otto, you know what I gotta do. Go back to the hole. Non, il a fermé la porte. Il a fermé la porte, tu vois.
Ah, je suis un peu exposé.
Hein? Ok. Collectibles. C'est un deuxième bucket.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Hey, 1 sur 6. Mais j'ai 1 sur 6 des figurines. Collect them all.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Sont où les autres?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then. All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could, but it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Yes, sir. Oh, what? Ok, on est dans le deuxième.
On est dans le deuxième maintenant.
This is the story of a man
Un
named
peu skip
Stanley.
button maintenant.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-eating, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oui, il y a des ballons.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Il
mean?
va avoir un job secret.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ouais, ça rend tellement le jeu, le scoot les ballons.
Stanley felt the bucket calling
Ah,
to
il n'y a
him,
plus...
begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Il y a un bucket. Ah,
Stanley picked up the bucket.
yay! Un bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared
Shut the fuck
together.
up.
Go
I
through
wanna give the
each of
bucket.
them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Non! Ok, bon, moi je sticker maintenant.
Pas plus de parce que. En vrai, ça devait. T'as quelque chose? Ah, t'as pas?
Yeah!
Found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Yippee! Merci.
C'est jamais là. Surtout que la devant.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yeah.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your
Shut the
belt.
fuck up! Yeah, I'm gonna go in my group with you.
Hey, why you... That's interesting.
You know what we gotta do?
That I...
I got the bucket now.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
What the fuck?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
What?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock. After taking some time to show the bucket around the boss's office, Stanley at last went to the keypad, where he began eagerly pressing the number 3 again and again.
I have a feeling nothing's gonna happen.
Alright.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Okay. Rajan, you look chat.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet, not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
I'm gonna go press number 3.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
What is this game? You got nothing to say.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
I'm here to get
For
that
months he
bucket now.
advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Ah, tu vas les 3.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Yippee!
There was no one here.
No!
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent.
Je vais aller dans Broom
And so it
Brothers.
began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Do I still have the bucket? Oh my god. Yippee!
All of his
Oh,
co-workers
he's
were
dead.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed him. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Bucket!
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh, what the fuck? C'est ce qui se passe. Ouais.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Oui.
You see,
Let's go.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Non, le bucket. Non, non. Même pas, yo.
Je vais pas prendre le bucket.
Le bête. C'est... Ah, ouais.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Les Stanley sont plus ici. Oui. Pas grave explorer ici. Ok, on va voir. C'est marrant que la musique de IBM. C'est infernal. C'est celui que tu entendais pour ton numéro de téléphone.
Oh my god.
Ça, c'était... C'est long. Brother. Non. Plus fort. Là, j'ai recliqué le bouton. Ça m'a juste rapporté à la même place. Je pense qu'il faut rester ici combien de temps avec un instant.
Est-ce que tu bouton? Ça fait quoi si tu recliques contre?
Mais là, j'ai cliqué en bas. Je vais mettre ça là. Arrête au même endroit. Là, je fais le tour ici. Si je clique en bas, après en haut.
Juste une machine. On va le
Allez, moi.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
J'ai voulu explorer quelque part, j'ai pas bien exploré.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
que c'est où je tombe. Je suis dans la bucket.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Ah. Youpi.
T'as tué ça dans le temps.
Ouais.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Oh my god.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Oh my god.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Ça s'en va. What the fuck? C'est quoi ce jeu?
But there is something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Ah, ok.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Je peux fermer la console et sauver le bucket.
Mais si tu cliques rien, ça fait quoi?
Il va mourir. C'est un reset. Ou je peux fermer le jeu puis revenir.
Ouais, c'est...